Well, hello, my friends. This is Wolfgang with Tools for Ascension and Kirstie here. And we're having a great time. We already have been doing 2 hours of session working with each other. And it's just fantastic, working with her. And yeah, we still have energy left. And, we're going to be talking, about cloaks, precision implants, and nano, the sabotage. That every healer sooner or later will have to face. We kind of, not by our own power, but we have allies, angels and other beings like dragons, that can clear all kinds of karma in ways that for me 10 years ago, or 20 years ago, I would have never thought would be possible. And the problem is, you can only clear that is there. You gotta ask for it, And this is where, Kirstie's high self came in and said, yeah, if you want to do a podcast, this is what we want to talk about, right? So, Kirstie, let's ask your high self, what do they have to say about cloaks?
So, cloaks are embedded in the energy field of 100% of the population. And some have more cloaks than others. Some have a lot of cloaks, and this is interfering with many things. It's interfering with, particularly in the starseed family, it's interfering with their day-to-day, with all areas of their life. And these cloaks, there's many varieties, and they can no longer go unnoticed.
Okay, so you got to deal with them. Now, how does a cloak work, in general?
So a cloak is a layer that is hiding an energy. And these energies are quite often than not lower vibrational energies that are service to self energy, that are there without you knowing, and they're able to perhaps sometimes do a lot of damage without the person being aware.
Yeah, I mean, I've come across this, I think, in a way, so many of us have prosperity issues. And, above greed, let's say, put it like this. And, we think we clear everything, and then bang, there's another problem again and again and again. And would this be due to cloaks?
Yes. Yes. Prosperity is the biggest one for people on their awakening journey and starseeds on their mission. Prosperity for doing what they came here to do. So these cloaks have been interfering in those ways.
So probably I would assume, also cloaking knowledge that has been there, cloaking memories, of, higher dimensional, experiences or past lifetimes would be also part of that.
Yes.
Now, how do we kind of now or suspect, that we are, well, 100% are cloaked, so probably everybody should be working on this, I say. So the question is, how much am I cloaked, right? 100%, 50%, or 20%. That's a good measurement, I guess, to ask these kind of questions. And so how can these cloaks be removed? What's the best technology for that?
The best technology to removing cloaks is to be in your sovereignty. However, there are layers that have been going undetected. So there's Arcturian beings that are very much there for anyone on their awakening journey. The Arcturian beings are guides to those starseeds, and they have the technology to remove most of the cloaks and the cloaking technology that has been um, in the energy field of the being. So Arcturians are really great. You can ask for your Arcturian guide to assist. For deeper layers of cloaking, it is best to go see someone. If you feel that there's a particular area that is sticky,
Yeah,
particular-
yeah. You don't want to do this alone, especially not the first time.
yeah, there's a particular area that's sticky or a very specific theme that's been coming up on repeat, chances are there's some sort of cloaking being that's most likely trying to take your energy in some sort of way.
Okay. So let's just, also go a little practical right now. So 100% of the people are cloaked, especially light workers. Well, let's ask, the Arcturian, ascension teams, and also any dragons that love us, that are of love and light and that are qualified, also any archangels of love and light like Archangel Michael and the others, to clear now all the cloaks that we, can handle. I mean, we can handle, the revelation that's coming to us, suddenly stop, will pop into your awareness. Well, we don't want you to flip out, so we ask that it be paced, to your capacity, and, if you want this, agree, smile, nod your head, say amen, amen, for me too. Of course, everything only for the highest good and divine harmony within the most benevolent outcomes. That's always a disclaimer. Good. And it's kicking in. Many of you probably have the hair standing on end or goosebumps, tingles. It's always higher energy level. Smile, smile, smile. You stay connected to love and to your higher mind. You don't want to be in your survival mind that you activate when you frown. No, keep smiling. Ooh, yeah, and it's probably gonna flow over you in waves of chi and energy. That's most people experience this like this. Or you feel the energy that's coming from Kirstie's hands. Well, it's both do it. That's cooking now. Ooh, ooh. And of course, our consciousness also gets cloaked. What's called like a roofie or hypnol, chemical or hypnotic commands, for many times bad reasons, so we like to have this clear too now, whether we did this to others, or others did this to us, of course, everything for the highest good. And, if people are abusing this, or have been abusing this, I like to take them to the highest courts of divine justice. Nobody is allowed to use their advanced tech against me. Agree this for yourself. You're a sovereign being. Somebody enslaves us, oh, they're gonna pay. Be sure. Oof. There you go. Smile, 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 smile. You need access to this love. This is very intense. Ooh.
A lot of layers.
Yeah, so actually, we asked the spirit guides, please continue till finished. Otherwise you'll be sitting here after 2 hours, the still releasing. So this will keep on releasing. But let's move on here. So this is running in the background, like a defrag on your computer or wire scan. And so you said the other principle, that is they're cloaking us over, is like, what's this precision you call this? What was that?
Yeah. So precision is a term that can be described as a placement. And so you can think of it like a battery. So a battery that has been placed that is operating against your free will.
So this is you're the charger and the battery just absorbs your life force?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a plugging station, like you would plug a maple tree. And so, yeah, okay, yeah. These are, many times also seen as cords. And, or portals, right? I mean, there's different forms of it. And, well, what are the places where they are attached, these batteries, most? Where do you find them most, Kirstie?
In cities and in buildings and systems, mostly in big cities. So this can also be, quite often you can feel very different from when you're, say, out in the country and when you go into the city, because there's a lot of operations at play that are unknowingly taking your energy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have a different word for this or different concept for this. I call them portals, dark portals. I mean, maybe they're different, but let's say you find them a lot in hospitals, or prisons, or, places where a lot of cruelty has happened or pain has happened. And they're sucking the good energy out of that area. So let's say in a hospital, a person where a dark portal is, they die within 2 days. Not none. So the nurses told me they had places like that. Or and then they dump dark energy, into people. Is this what you consider a battery? No, it's different. Okay, we always like to learn more. And so, are there like on the astral plane, or is there some physical component to it in many cases?
It's in a plane that is not the astral, but it is close to the astral. And it is a mechanism. Think of it like a sheet of paper. That's in between the astral and the ethereal.
Okay.
So it's a very, very thin place. But it's something that can be released and cleared.
So, what this seems to be on a larger scale. It's not something in people's force field. Is that correct? Or does it also? Are there also batteries in people's force fields, like attached to the spine?
There are batteries in people's force field, but this is something that basically when you go into the city or you go into, say, um, I mean, okay, it's something that connects to the energy field when you go in. Like think of it like if you're on, say, a train or going into like a sky train station and you kind of like unknowingly like plug into this field.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay.
So the field has been installed in these cities, in bigger cities. So that's kind of why quite often people will feel like a drain in energy if they're going.
Okay, yeah. And is this are these batteries, installed with the help of humans, like through a black magic ceremony, sacrifice, or something like this? So you need the cooperation of humans. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so folks, and so let's say any city, let's say over 50,000 people, can we say they're all affected by these batteries, or where does it, you know? All right, there we go. And you're a sovereign being, so we asked, the highest keeper of divine law, absolute source, Archangel Michael, and the other councils of love and light, that are not corrupted, that are actually of love and light, to please, take everybody that is facilitating, these illegal batteries. They're illegal because it's done in secrecy. Nobody has consented to it. Take them to the highest courts of divine justice. Stop them, from making further damage, and disassemble, these installations or use them for the highest good. That means raise the vibration of the planet. What can be done to discharge can also be used to charge. Then what this is, whatever is for the highest good. Amen. 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 So everybody that, agrees with this, nod. And of course, you want to be completely, protected against any revenge, from the dark side. In the dark side, yeah, you have been warned. Okay. Does the High Self would like to add anything to this?
Nope, that was pretty great.
Thank you. So, you also mentioned implants.
So implants are technology devices that have been installed in the etheric realm, astral realm, sometimes the physical, and quite often they are done from previous lifetimes. Um, and many of them can be cloaked. And sometimes they are hidden until you've reached a certain say frequency, and then they can no longer be hidden. They come out in that way. But also they can all be deactivated as well. um, for the service to self, the ones that aren't for the highest good.
Yeah.
But are blocking many star seeds at this time. So this is this is something that needs to be looked at.
Absolutely. Let me give my little 5 cents to this. So, when I start with the client, we start grounding and connecting to the heavens, basically cheeing up the person. Suddenly, oh, my neck hurts. Oh, this is there, this is there. And this is like, let's say if you have a circuit board, electronic circuit board, and you increase the voltage or the amperage on it, the weak spots, getting hot. So in the same way, when the chi goes up, the light goes up in your body, so these dark spots, even if they're cloaked, yeah, there is something there, you feel it, they can't hide anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, very commonly used. I mean, anything from, like a voodoo doll type magic, where you stick a, something into something, and it bleeds over into the astral, to spells and curses, right? There would be implants, as well as, I would say, just thought forms. If you have an intense, well-defined thought forms, yeah, that becomes more or less an astral entity or object, right? So yeah, it's probably one of the most common I find, and it's going all the way from the human level to demigods, Anunnaki, right,
Yeah.
and higher. Yeah, so and yeah, many of them are cloaked. So yeah, they're definitely bread and butter of healers, right? That's the first thing you run into. So yeah, let's just ask that whatever implants are in us, that need to be cleared. I mean, there's some that's just too advanced for us. Maybe we couldn't handle the shift, but whatever our high self thinks, and our spirit guides think is for the highest good for us. We like to have those cleared now, and then those that planted those into us, whether they're humans or ghosts or other beings, and it's against free will and divine law, taken to the courts of divine justice. So they either get liberation or taken out of making any more damage here right now. These are ascension times. They can be brought to another timeline. But we like to have this cleared now on all levels of our being, also the parallel timelines, in past, present, and future, so no more bleed over. Amen, amen, amen. Also implants into the DNA, the Anunnaki, they messed a lot with that. Little DNA, little snippets in here, yes. Clip the higher dimensional perception, this and that. Yeah, let's clear all that. So we asked for a virus scan on our DNA, all our subtle bodies, nadis, meridians, chakras, and other, other aspects of us. Gotta keep them busy, they're beyond space and time.
That was big.
Yeah. Ooh, yes. It's called potency. It's not my potency, If we just give permission to beings that are really, eager to help. So we're just the ones calling in where the bomb's supposed to strike. We're not the bombs, But we say, oh, there is something dark going on, why don't you blow that up? Something like that. That's our power, pointing our finger. All right, so nano. Yeah, okay, nano is definitely, something that's become, well, it's going into the physical nowadays. Not just in the astral. So what does the high self have to tell us about nano, pretty please?
So nano is a shadow technology that is convoluted and oftentimes mistaken for something good. Um, there's a lot of nano technology in AI. There's a lot of nanotechnology in the energy fields, and there's a lot of nanoparticles in the air. This is due to many reasons, but the nanoparticles can be washed away and can be removed and cleared, but it is the knowledge that is needed to do so, the awareness that they are there.
Like always, knowledge is power. So, there is physical nano, like in the form of like a dust, like aluminum dust, bromium, and other things, that kind of find it into the airways, for, somehow funded by somebody, Also aluminum, and those things, guys, they can be resonated, just like water can be resonated, by microwave, frequency, all these things can be resonated, by these here, these devices.
Yeah.
And, are they being used, for the good, make everybody happy and balanced? What do you think?
No.
No, you don't know. Let everybody make their own conclusion. Yeah. And if you think that having a cell phone, right next to your reproductive organs, if you think that is a good idea, think again. Maybe do some research, on how this is affecting the cell mitosis, means cell division. Educate yourself before you get stuck with a kid. That's problems. All right, so how is this being used? These kind of technology on humans.
This technology is being used by blocking receptors, causing chaos in the cells, distortion, and disease.
I mean, the thing is, all these mechanisms and systems, they work on light that we cannot see. Let's call it resonance. But they're all affecting. Just because we cannot see them with our eyes, doesn't mean it exists. So this creates a lot of stray interferences, with our systems. I mean, that's just for health and vitality, right? So how about, can they affect your thoughts? I mean, full sentences thoughts, yes or no?
Yes.
How about your emotions?
Yes.
Can they block your chi?
No.
They cannot block your crown chakra?
No, they cannot block it. It's the other energies that come because of it that block it.
Oh, okay, indirect. Yeah. Okay, and let's say, is it being used on people actually? Let's say if you have 24 hours in a day, on a population in LA. So how many hours is this kind of technology on?
24/7.
24/7. Now, is this kind of programmed, to individuals, which is, technically possible, so everybody has their own little black box, programming on him, or is it more like, that whole area is now being laid with this and that program? I mean, is it individual or masses?
Individual, mostly individual.
I mean, everybody affected, but everybody has their individual little, dose, and it's profiled, right?
Yes.
And that's run by AI?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
You can say, yeah, AI.
Yeah, I mean, it's, technology, let's put it like this, mechanical, doesn't need consciousness interference. Is this mainly run by, let's say, humans, Dracos, Subterraneans, ET, it's Anunnaki, who is mostly doing this?
Dracos, Anunnaki,
Is this legit?
some grays.
Some, yeah, the servants. Is this legitimate in cosmic law?
No.
So why is this still happening? Are they sleeping up there, or are they just baiting their time? I mean, what's going on? Or they think they blow human human minds.
It's a dissolution of there's a dissolution of the old, and there's quite they're at a different frequency, so they are going undetected.
Well, for humans, but not for higher intelligences. Don't tell me that. They know exactly what's going on.
For humans, yes.
Yeah, for humans.
Mhm.
So what we now know, and everybody that knows know about it. I mean, you can ask your high self whether you're affected by this stuff or not. Personally, I would like to have it cleared. I vow now, please, take the hammer to those people, and, disassemble the technology or use it for the highest good. And let's see how much of, the average person's energy, whatever gets compromised. Let's say a person comes in with an intent, let's say the Dharma, the divine purpose, you're coming in, and then this technology is being used. So how much is the average human here now in a big city, diverted from their Dharma, from their divine purpose?
80%, 80%.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah. So there's a lot of karma riding on this, causing that much suffering. So we ask now that the divine beings, through dreams and other divine ways, show those people, that are causing this, the karma that's coming up to them, whether it's really worth it, for that extra big yacht or that special, souped up car or bimbo or whatever, they're after. So just give them a chance, before it's too late. They maybe still can turn, but now, you like to have this all cleared now. And I would say, if you were listening and agreeing with this, put in your almonds, put in your intent, smile, be of love, you have more power that way. And so it is.
Instantly, it feels like the air is crisp and clear. Like, instantly.
Yeah,
What
there's
it feels.
suddenly a 5-second delay to
Well, I think
that.
it might have been 5 seconds since you said that because there was a
Yeah,
definite shift there. Like
yeah,
it was,
oh yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah.
mhm.
No, that's how it works.
Like it's kind of like the difference of when you're up in the mountains breathing in that air versus if you're in the city. Like it just that there was a big shift there.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's filtering into me too now. I see it. Yeah. Whew. You again, probably everybody has kind of a little bit of an elevator feeling. And my legs are buzzing, my arms are buzzing here, standing on end, goosebumps. You smile. If you smile, you're more receptive to the love. You connect with your higher consciousness, not your survival consciousness. Yeah, folks, pass this on, do this as much as you can. I mean, even if you have that running at night, on loop, it's gonna do some. If you end up psychic attack, this might make a big difference. And well, what does the high self have to say, Kirstie? You always
She-
have to ask the other side, I mean, that's how we learn, I mean,
It is a big part of the reason why psychic attacks are happening more frequently right now because of this technology. Um, it's like it's like they're following that. So this will make a big difference in a lot of things. And always something you can come back to if you're feeling something's maybe not quite right, just because there can be a lot of stuff in the air, particularly in North America. Particularly North America. But big difference, like it was affecting, the endocrine systems and the organs and um, just just a whole lot of moving parts to it. So this was really big.
Oh yeah, some people may ask you, so nano, after nano. Now people know about black goo, not only from from what's this, the FBI thing here with Mulder, but also from some people know about SSP. So what does the high self have to say? The connection with nano and black goo, is it relevant for the common people?
Yes.
And how is it relevant for us common light workers?
The connection is paramount. The the connection is there for all those who want to explore.
Okay.
For the 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 trail, I think, and the connection between the two. That's what I'm getting.
So she's kind of staying quite vague. Yeah. So again, I give my high selves and my support teams of love and light complete permission, to do whatever this, can be done, to stop any negative interference, of black goo and other such nano on my life, and that of my entourage, let's put it like that. Everybody that affects me. And whoever, else agrees with this, for themselves, please go ahead, protect yourself, lock the door. And so it is. All right, so there are probably a lot of our soul fragment, an aspect of our soul, our awareness can come back into us, that was blocked, the doors were locked, you didn't know it even existed. So we ask now our high self, the divine angels, love beings, to return all those aspects of our soul, of our awareness, of our essence back to us, purify it first, heal it, and update it to the latest divine blueprint, for us. And then bring it to our optimal energy levels and then seal it in so that the dark side cannot manipulate or steal our energies anymore. And 1, 2, 3, we're back in awakened day consciousness again. Ooh, all right. So, Kirstie, you do healings and things like this? What are you doing?
So I do energetic attunements with light language. So I work with many beings, and so I bring a lot of light language technology through, and I do Akashic record reading and galactic lineage reports. And I'm also working with a new healing modality called Thera healing, and that works with a large Syrian and Arcturian team of elders. And it is a technology that's able to go and close a lot of portals at a deeper level because that's very convoluted.
There's a lot of portaling going on.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So it's a technology that is new to the planet, but it is not new to the universe, to the galaxies. So it's something um, that that we're able to do now. So that one's very exciting. Quite often with that technology, it works with different codes, but you feel your body really heating up, and it's almost like blasting and closing things very quickly. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Now, Kirstie has potency, and she's an excellent seer, and she sees stuff that very few people can see. Awesome. Definitely recommend it. Well, and this is what I do. You know? So I ask the questions, and then, I'm like a state attorney or whatever, call in the heavy guns, call in the cavalry of love and light. So all information is below. You can check it out. Please leave your comments. Give us a thumb up if you enjoyed. If you have questions for Kirstie or me, we probably read the comments, right? And yeah, love you a long time.
Thank you. Love you.